Who brings this woman to be married to this man?
I do.
Will you place your daughter's hand, please, in David's hand? Ashley, you're going to hand your bouquet off to your maid of honor. I need you guys to back up just a half step. There we go. Want to be centered here. And you may be seated. We are gathered here today in the sight of God to celebrate one of life's greatest moments. Marriage is an honorable estate created by God, signifies unto us the union of a man and his bride, and that same union exists between Christ and his church. David and Ashley, only love will maintain a marriage. Mankind did not create love. Love was created by God. Love is freely given and love is freely accepted, just as God's love for us is unconditional and free. As you travel through life together, I caution you to remember that the true measure of success, the true avenue of joy and peace, is to be found within the love that you hold in your hearts. I would ask then that you hold the key to your hearts very tightly. I'm going to read several passages of Scripture today, and one of those is found in the book of Ecclesiastes in the 4th chapter. And Solomon, who is supposed to have been the wisest man to ever walk earth besides Christ, wrote these words, and he said this: "Two are better than one, because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. But pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them up. Also, if two lie down together, they will keep warm. But how can one keep warm alone?" That probably is a whole lot more appropriate in Indiana than it is in Florida. Though one may be overpowered, two can defend themselves. A cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken. David, I'm going to ask you some questions. Now remember, I've been talking to Ashley quite a bit, so be careful how you answer as I ask these questions of you. Do you take Ashley to be your wife? Do you promise to love her, to honor her, forsaking all others, holding only unto her?
I do.
And Ashley, I've had a little bit of chance to talk to David now, so here we go. Do you take David to be your husband? Do you promise to love him, to honor him, to protect him, forsaking all others, holding only unto him?
I do.
She said that a whole lot stronger than you did. David, it's your turn to repeat your vows, please, to Ashley. Repeat after me. I, David,
I, David,
take you, Ashley,
take you, Ashley,
to be my wife,
to be my wife,
to have and to hold,
to have and to hold,
in sickness and health,
in sickness and health,
for rich or for poor.
for rich or for poor.
And I promise my love to you
I promise my love to you
forevermore.
forevermore.
And Ashley, will you repeat your vows, please, to David? I, Ashley,
I, Ashley,
take you, David,
take you, David,
to be my husband,
to be my husband,
to have and to hold,
to have and to hold,
in sickness and health,
in sickness and in health,
for rich or for poor.
for rich and poor.
And I promise my love to you
I promise my love to you
forevermore.
forevermore.
You two have chosen to write your own vows to one another. David, I think you're going first, is that right? Are you ready to repeat your vows, please, to Ashley?
I am.
Don't let go of her hand.
Okay. April 17th, 2021, my wedding vows to Ashley. My dearest Ashley, under God and with His strength and mercy, I vow to love you with my whole heart, to make you feel like the most beautiful of God's creations, and to adore you and appreciate every moment you have. I vow to pray for our unity and that God blesses this day and us forever.
Ashley, are you ready to repeat your vows, please, to David?
I am. Thank you, sir. So mine are a little bit longer. I had so much I wanted to say. I'm going to do my hardest not to cry. David, I prayed for you long before we met. I prayed that God would make me perfect for you and only reveal when I was ready. I truly believe that God created us for each other. God knew what my heart needed and allowed you to meet my angel on earth, Granny. You are my godsend. David, I promise to pray for you every day. I promise to give you my heart, mind, time, attention, respect, trust, loyalty, support, and unconditional love until God calls me home. I promise to give you the best of me each day and always encourage you to be the amazing man you are. I promise to always laugh at your jokes, tell my own, and never stop being youthful at heart. I promise to always play video games, shoot guns, watch movies, and make homemade desserts, cookies, with you. On this day, I take you to be my husband, my best friend, my faithful partner in life, my one true love. I promise to stay by your side in sickness and health, in joy and in sorrow, and through all the good times and bad. I will love you without reservation. I will grow with you and always be open and honest with you. Regardless of what life brings, we face it together hand in hand. I promise you can count on me. On this day, I become your wife. You make me incredibly happy and you're my blessing from God.
This whole day is about love. There have been a lot of songs written about love, a lot of movies made about love. There's been a whole bunch of stuff written about love. But probably the very best definition of love is found in the Bible in 1 Corinthians 13. And Paul, in writing that, says this: love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast. It is not proud, it is not rude, it is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. We come to that part of the ceremony now when you're going to exchange your rings with each other. For thousands of years, lovers have exchanged rings as a token of their vows. Let your rings be a sign that love has a past, a present, and a future. Through you and within you. The promises which you have spoken to each other today are forever in your minds and in your hearts. But words are fleeting, and so those who marry wear rings as visible and tangible symbols of their love and their commitment to each other. You rings announce to the world that you have recognized in each other your soul's mate, that you have entwined together to become one, and that it is inconceivable that you should ever part. May I have the rings, please? Will you place them upon her finger? And as you're doing so, will you repeat after me? I, David, give you, Ashley, this ring as a sign that I choose you to be my lover, my partner, and my best friend. And as a reminder that I will always love you to the end of my days. Ashley, will you take David's ring, please? Will you place it upon his finger? And will you repeat after me? I, Ashley, give you, David, this ring as a sign that I choose you to be my lover, my partner, and my best friend. And as a reminder that I will always love you to the end of my days.
till the end of my days.
In the book of Proverbs, Solomon wrote these words: as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. You have committed here today to share your lives with each other. Today, that your relationship is symbolized by the pouring of these containers of sand into that center container. Ashley, will you take your container of sand, please? Will you pour just a little bit of sand into that center container? Ashley, this represents all you've ever been, all you are today, all that you'll ever be. David, will you take your container of sand, please? Pour just a little bit of sand in that center container. This represents all you've ever been, all you are today, all that you'll ever be. Now we're going to see just how well the two of you are going to work together. So will you both take your containers, please, at the same time, pour into that last container. And what I'm asking for you to do here is to totally empty them out so there's no sand left when we finish up. So you can go ahead and start pouring. As your containers of sand are poured into the last container, the individual containers of sand no longer exist, but will be joined together as one. And just as these sands can no longer be separated and poured into individual containers, so will your marriage be. You guys are being so careful with that. I always look to see who made the bigger mess on the table. There's a whole lot more blue there than there is the other color. So who's the messy person in this relationship? Are you really? And you're going to admit it? All right. Will you join me, please, back at the center? Join hands, face each other again when we get over there. And by the way, that bottom layer of sand is from this beach we're standing on.
Awesome.
So you'll be reminded that on this, the 17th day of April, of the year after COVID, that you stood on this beach, John's Pass is what technically this is called, and you made promises to each other. You entered into a relationship with each other that you both knew was supposed to happen, God's hands in it. So what a blessing that is. Now the other thing that's going to happen with that is you're going to take it home with you. Now I grew up in Michigan, so I know a little bit about Indiana's weather. Probably in January, when the temperature up there is like 20 degrees and the snow is falling, you'll look at that container of sand and you'll be reminded that it was like 80, whatever it is right here today.
Absolutely.
And you'll be thinking, yeah, we need to make that trip back to Florida again here real soon. Okay. I'd like to read for you what's called The Art of a Good Marriage. Some pretty good thoughts of advice. So if you would please just tune in for a minute and we'll share some thoughts. The Art of a Good Marriage. The little things are the big things. It is never being too old to hold hands. It is remember to say I love you at least once a day. And by the way, once a day is not nearly often enough. It is never going to sleep angry. It is at no time taking the other for granted. The courtship should not end with a honeymoon. It should continue through all the years. It is having a mutual sense of values and common objectives. It is standing together facing the world. It is forming a circle of love that gathers in the whole family. It is doing things for each other not in the attitude of duty or sacrifice, but in the spirit of joy. It is speaking words of appreciation and demonstrating gratitude in thoughtful ways. It is not expecting the husband to wear a halo or the wife to have the wings of an angel. Let me pause here for a second. This is a really good guy. You know that? You already know that, right? Okay. So let me ask you one simple question. Does this guy have a halo on his head?
Most definitely.
Most definitely. Does he have a halo on his head?
We'll say yes.
Okay. Yes is a good answer. All right. So now it's turnabout. Does this beautiful bride who's been so attentive to you today, does she have the wings of an angel?
Always.
Always. And that's the correct answer. If you can remember that, you got this whole marriage thing figured out. It is not looking for perfection in each other. It is instead cultivating flexibility, patience, understanding, and a sense of humor. It is having the capacity to forgive and to forget. It is giving each other an atmosphere in which each of you can grow. It is finding room for the things of the Spirit. It is a common search for the good and the beautiful. It is establishing a relationship in which independence is equal, dependence is mutual, the obligation is reciprocal. And finally, and most importantly, it is not only marrying the right partner, it is being the right partner. You two have both chosen scripture that you want to be to read. And what a blessing that is for me today to be able to do that as a part of your celebration and your ceremony. Ashley, you chose. Blessed is she who has believed that the Lord would fulfill his promises to her. And Luke, the first chapter, verse 45. And David, you chose. Take delight in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Let those verses resonate with you both as you continue into this marriage relationship that you've entered today. Insomuch as the two of you have agreed to live together in matrimony, that promise your love for each other, By repeating your vows, by giving exchange of the rings, by joining hands, by pouring the sand, I now declare that you are husband and wife. By the authority vested in me under the laws of the state of Florida, it is my very great pleasure and privilege to pronounce that you are husband and wife. David, you, sir, may kiss your bride. It is my very great honor today to introduce for the very first time Mr. and Mrs. David Commodore.